Right now, we're going to head to the other side of the Cisco TV broadcast studio where Alpa is sitting down with Elnar Azadov for a conversation. Alpa, let's send it over to you. Good morning, my friend.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. It's so great to be back here. And I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Elnar Asadov, Head of ICT COP 29. Hello and welcome, Elnar.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. Very
Good.
good. Everything is fine. Thank
Good.
you so much.
It's a privilege to meet you and to be here with you. And we have a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you our first one, okay? So please, could you tell us about the significance of COP29 for Azerbaijan and the obstacles COP29 needed to overcome to prepare for this?
Thanks so much for your question. COP29 is a landmark event for Azerbaijan. It was in history first time for our country. It was visibility for our president and full support from government. Failure was not an option, but we have so many challenges.
Yes.
Like this event need around minimum, I think, 1 year to preparation. For COP29, we had time 3-4 months for planning, implementation, finalize everything. And temporary venue, our temporary venue size, more than 100,000 square meters,
Wow.
had to integrate to existing stadium. And we have some another challenge also, logistic. Also this problem because of supply chain. How you say is too many challenges we have it.
Wow, and it sounds like you have managed to overcome those very well as well at the same time. So I'd like to know a bit more about that. So can you tell us about Cisco CX and how they worked with COP29 to provide the technology required to run such a large-scale event that you've just described? I mean, that's a huge event, right? So
Yeah, this big event and short time, limited time. That's why we also understood we need some very good technology
yes.
partner for like this event. We research market and we understand Cisco is the right partner for us. Why? Because of they know like how it need to work for like this big event. He had very good experience for previous COPs also, and we discuss and we decide to work together. They easily understood requirement for UNFCCCs. They easily planning for short time. They easily start to integrate to our team. By the way, I would say is that Cisco also gives separate educated team
Yes.
only for COP29. Which one we are, I won't say for Cisco CX. Thanks so much.
Oh, that's wonderful. And, you know, having the...
But for last, I won't say
Yeah.
Cisco technology, everyone is the knows the technology is the best, but people even more.
Absolutely. The people are so important, and we're happy that we could support, you know, COP29 in this way. So that's really great to hear. So moving on to the outcomes of the event, would you like to share with us some of your key successes and what made this event successful that you have to have metrics-wise to ensure success, and how you work with CX to do that?
I would say for such statistics.
Yes,
I would
please,
take
yes.
for network performance was 5 nines at uptime, and for connecting device for our Wi-Fi's more than 78,000,
Wow.
and for peak users for parallel peak users more than 28,000.
Wow.
And key, what I would say is that this for like this event we need to choose right partners like Cisco because of he helped to us very well, and how I say everything understood easily, fast, and he very easily integrate to our team, and we work like one team and one family and one goal.
I love that. Such a brilliant way to summarize your experience. Thank you so much,
Thanks so
Elna.
much.
Thank you for your time. Steve, on that note, I am going to head on over back to you.
Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I was in totally the wrong spot when you said that. I was over talking to our floor manager here, to Ali. So appreciate Elnar being here in the studio with us this morning. Alpa, great job, as you always do. We've got a special surprise coming up for you in just a couple of minutes. I'm not going to spoil that surprise. Make sure you stay with us here on the live broadcast. We'll be back in studio very shortly. Before we do that, though, good morning, Cedric DeValder, who, by the way, is out in one of the most jealous-making spots, certainly for me, out here on the show floor. This is the well-being zone. You are way too relaxed, my friend.
I know. Like, you hit us by surprise, actually, Steve. But as Rob said, it's quite stimulating in the showcase. So I thought, what's better than hang out in the well-being zone? And I was looking in the wrong camera. So yeah, it's very relaxing over here, so I'm just taking it easy. But yeah, so we've learned a lot this week. It's the last day of our broadcast, unfortunately. It's been really great fun, but it's also a lot of walking for me and for the crew. So I thought, let's just go and get a good massage. As you can see, it's hard to chat again. So not in a race car, not in a massage chair. So let's cancel this thing. But I thought it's probably a good idea, Steve, right now to... Oh, let's just cancel. Yeah, it's a good idea once this thing is back in normal position to look at some social media hits that we had this week. So if my iPad wants to unlock, I'm going to have a look at what hashtag Cisco Live EMEA, everything that we've been saying, is promoting right now. I see a lot of people that are really excited, a lot of pictures of meeting old friends, of like meeting old colleagues. I see a lot about DevNet, which we visited extensively yesterday. I see that somebody won a prize of Darth Vader. I see also our analysts and our press is tweeting away and using the hashtag quite a lot. I see people catching beers in Amsterdam, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not promoting anything, just saying. I see guys with capes on, which is also quite cool. It's really busy. It was really busy here at Cisco Live in Amsterdam. People are excited about the labs that they walked into. They love posting a picture, what they've learned. Like they like taking pictures even with the presenters, so they're all becoming celebrities. What else is going on here? Oh, somebody. Oh no! Wait. Oh, the Cisco store as well is quite important here, like with some merchandise. Steve, maybe we go there next time or like after this segment to do some shopping.
Over to the Cisco store?
Yeah, I love the Cisco store.
I'm going to send you to the Cisco store. I'm going to take over the chair from you right now. I've been standing behind this podium. This podium and I have gotten to be exceptionally good friends over the course of the last few days, but all of a sudden
you're
just lounging back. Well, yes, absolutely, but you're the one who gets to lounge and relax over there. Are
Well,
there
I'm
massage features on the chair, Cedric?
Well, I'll give you a demo. Like, we'll just going back down again.
Massage demo. Not that isn't thrilling for the people watching from all over the world. I'm going to let you get the massage. We're going to take it over back here in the studio. Thanks, my friend. I appreciate it.
Over to you.
Look forward to seeing you back here later.
Bye-bye.
Look at it, just drifting off away from us. All right, I promised you a special surprise a couple of minutes ago, and I've been waiting for this a long time. I'm going to look over here to my right, and there I find Bonnie Shapira. All right, so for those of you that do not know Bonnie, I'm going to join you over here on this side for just a minute. Everything that's happening around us right now does not take place without the man standing over here with me on the set. So Bonnie is responsible. I don't know. I mean, it's not just you. You don't build all of it exactly yourself. But when we look at all the people who are here in this room together, 18,000 plus folks all gathering together, you brought us all together. And I'm going to explain to everybody here who's watching exactly why and how that occurs. So Bonnie is in charge of Cisco Live EMEA. We've got phenomenal people in each region of the world that put together our Cisco Lives here. But Bonnie is the one who collects everything, produces, gets everybody on the same page, in the same room, around the themes that leadership creates. And we couldn't do this without you. So I'll just start off by saying thank you before I say anything else.
Thank you, Steve. I've been waiting 10 years for this moment, so I'm really excited.
I just can't believe it took us all this time to get here. Actually, that was the first thing I was going to ask you. How many years have you been at the helm of all of this?
This is actually my 10th year. I started back in Milan, 2015, did Berlin, did Barcelona, and now I've been doing 3 years here in Amsterdam, and I still get the kick out of it.
I love that. And I can tell that, and I think it's all right. So Bonnie just told me something interesting. I'm going to share a little behind the scenes. You see the beard going on right now? He grows that especially for this particular event because everybody has gotten so used to seeing Bonnie in the beard. And I watch you whenever you're out and about because you don't travel with an entourage, but you always have people coming up to you constantly throughout the course of the show because they're grateful for what it is that you've put together for all of us. How does it feel to kind of be in that position? You're a humble guy, so.
It feels great. This week is a celebration for me and for my team. I mean, we work hard all year long. We plan this event literally 52 weeks. So when one event ends, we start planning for the next event.
Into
we
the
go
next
straight.
one.
We're already planning for next year's event.
Yeah.
And actually coming on site with all the pressure, it's a lot of excitement. It's a big celebration from the first moment until the end.
It really is. What do you think makes this so special? I mean, trade events are trade events, right? I mean, there's a trade show for everything, whatever it happens to be. Why is Cisco Live something unique and special?
I think from our perspective and how we as a team, our philosophy is all about putting our customers first. And we try to copy what Cisco is offering in terms of solutions and technology, also in the terms of the experience at Cisco Live. So even though the food is not prepared by Cisco, or the security guards are not working for Cisco, we make sure that they understand the impact that they have on our customers and partners. So we closely focus on each and every bit of the experience. So the food hopefully is great. We have coffee everywhere. We try to make our customers and partners that are attending the event feel at ease as possible as we could, so that when they go to their sessions or to their meetings, they feel comfortable and they can focus on what they come here for. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what puts Cisco Live on a different level than most events in the industry.
Let me bring up one more initiative that has been brilliant, wayfinding, wherever you go. Mm-hmm. Meaning people don't just have to wander around aimlessly, blindly trying to find what it is that they're looking for. Everywhere they go, there's an opportunity for wayfinding. Like you said, the food is right there, the coffee is right there, it's always at arm's reach, but also, what are you here to learn? What are you here to do? Let's get you there, right?
No. The focus of the event has always been around education. So I have this basic formula, which is this event is all about E plus E plus E. Education, experience, and engagement. All of them are important. With no education, there will be no event. But we need to make sure that the experience is great as well, right? And the experience is what, let's say, comes around the education. Once they have a great experience, they can get better education. They learn more from our engineers. They're sitting in those meetings, engage with our customers, with our partners, with our product managers, with whomever it is. And you can see people here from when we open the event on Sunday until tomorrow midday after the party. We will have thousands of people sitting, meeting everywhere, which is great.
And I do love that about every Cisco Live. A lot of events that I attend, that I go to, people check out early. They come in for a day. They come in for a day and a half. That does not happen with the Cisco Live. This is community. This is family so much more than it is just a chance to get together, poke around at technology, and then jump back on the airplane.
Yeah, and these are really passionate individuals and a huge community. I know a lot of the customers attending because I just see people that need some help or direction. I reach out to them, I speak with them, I get to know who they are, and then they give me feedback. And one of the focus we have is also listen and learn to our customers. We always strive to get feedback, even if sometimes it's uncomfortable, but without that feedback, we will not be able to improve. And I think our customers notice that from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, they always see improvement in the experience at Cisco Live. And this is thanks to their feedback and to us listening to them.
It's true, and it changes every year. This is a thing that I think a lot of people who don't attend the conference, they just think, well, it's a conference like anything else. Yes. It'll be the same this year, next year, next year. It doesn't change by the year. It changes by the region. Even as we jump from here in EMEA, we'll then go to San Diego in June, then we'll be back in Melbourne in November, and it's always something very, very different. There's not a lot of repetition here.
So the format is pretty much the same, but as I said earlier, a lot of the experiences are different. The floor plan always has to change. If your floor plan doesn't change, you have a problem. Yeah. But to me, it reminds me of something that a lot of people tell me, great, they come to Cisco Live, they see the event, especially Cisco people, and they tell me, Bonnie, you and your team did a great job, as always. And this, as always, is something that is a bit bothering me, because it's not as always. Every year is different. Every year it's a new challenge. We cannot do exactly the same. Some people, would like it to be exactly the same, but every time, and what we change is what we hear that did not work well. So if something did not work well, like, for example, the TV studio, you were having quite a lot of challenges with the weather here. It was too cold here, so probably next year we'll fix it. Just one example.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Look, creating the experience, I mean, this is what Cisco does as well. So much of it is, yes, there's technology is there, but we're trying to build better experiences, better outcomes, not only for the people who use Cisco capabilities, but for the customers who are the beneficiaries of that, right? So I know that building out an experience, it's hardly a one-man operation. How many people do you have on your team?
Well, I have a paper for that, so that I don't
Oh,
forget
you actually
anyone.
brought
Yes.
cheat sheets to make sure. Okay, this
I
is
do.
good.
But actually, just to be clear, this is an effort of thousands of people.
Yeah.
We have a couple of thousands of Cisco employees on site. Most of them have a role on site, whether these are our amazing speakers, the people manning the Cisco booth, people hosting the customers. So we have a couple of thousand employees, and they're all part of the effort to make this event come to life. We have more than 2,000 crew members, whether it's from George P. Johnson and other agencies, that are building this event and making it possible. So it takes an army for that.
Guys.
And then we have our core team, my core team, which I'm so proud to work with for the last 10 years. I love you all. Just going to read the names so I don't forget.
Please,
so
no, that's great. Let's celebrate them.
Our
They
amazing-
don't get celebration. They're always in the background.
agree.
Let's celebrate them.
So we have the amazing Joe, which is the ops lead and my right hand, and we couldn't have done this event without her and without anyone on the list. With Trish doing sustainability and more, Jane, she's responsible for a lot of the holes in the world of solutions, Catherine or Keith doing the additional events and the meeting village, the amazing meeting village, and Emma, which is responsible for the F&B. So if you had a good experience here, unfortunately those who are watching us online cannot experience the hospitality here, but it's great, and hopefully you'll come next year to see it, to experience it yourself. We have our amazing Reg team, registration with Heidi, the amazing Heidi, and Laura and Jamel. We have Stina and Sharif. Stina is our lead for everything social media and marketing, website, and everything around that, with Sharif, that is here behind the scene, watching my badge and my mobile phone. And then we have Gunai, that is responsible for all the lead management and the mobile app. So if you play the games on the mobile app, if you experience that, that's thanks to Gunai. And last but not least, Remco and the amazing NOC team. So the network operation team that is responsible for building the network on site and keeping us all connected.
And I love that, and I'll just give an extra shout out to them. What it takes to put the NOC together at each one of these events, this gets built from scratch. It brings together our Net Academy folks as well, who are working their way up through the ranks, and they start from nothing. They build out the entire network for the conference. I'll just go ahead and I'll thank all of those folks as well, because we feel it. Those of us who are out here working the event, who are helping to tell the stories about what's taking place, we see it all in action, and these folks they're remarkable. They're brilliant at what they do. I'm going to add a couple of people to your list, and that is the other Bonnies, the people who are out there, the Nezes of the world, and Kathy and Heather, and the people who are running the other Cisco Lives as well, because this is a family effort. We take the strengths of what we do at one event, we pass them along to the next event and the next, and that makes all of us so much better and makes a better experience for all of our attendees.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Let's talk about you when you are here at the show. Once this is all up and running, the doors open, everybody floods in. What do you do? What is your role here at the show once it's off and underway? After all a year's worth of work, 52 weeks of work, and all of a sudden you're here. What's your role?
So firstly, I put on a nice show for myself. I'm only wearing this once a year, one week here.
Grow the beard?
Yeah, the beard I grow for a couple of months, but I'm putting on the jackets and the relatively nice clothes once a year, because I work from home almost all year long.
Sure.
And as I said before, for me, the big kick that I get out of the event is just walking around. I walk all the time. My team always tell me, you're always in the wrong place in the wrong time.
Okay.
So if something goes wrong, if something breaks, if there's food missing somewhere, I happen to be there. Again, it's not intentional. It always happens, which is fine. They get it, and that's part of the job. I just want to make sure that everyone is happy and seeing people, hugging people, high fives with everyone. So I definitely don't sit in the back of house, in the back office. I just want to experience it as much as possible, see everyone is happy, just to get a feeling, because that's how you really realize that the event is successful. So it's a big celebration.
I'm going to applaud you for that as well. I think a lot of people who lead large events like this, they stay nervous from show open to show close, and they're buried away back in a war room, and they don't get a chance to talk with people, and you do the exact opposite. You get out there on the show floor, you experience the event the way all of the other 18,000 people here are ready to experience the event, and I think that's brilliant. Bonnie, This is great. Please continue to do this with us. I know it took a while. I truly appreciate you, my friend. I'm giving you a hug
Thank
because,
you.
again, very, very grateful for
Been a
everything
pleasure.
that you do. Thank you, my friend.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, so we're going to take a very brief break. We're about 6 minutes and 45 seconds out from our first center stage session of the day. We're going to head out to Rob Boyd at this point. 40 years of innovation. What a perfect spot to be in as soon as I'm done talking with Bonnie. Rob, let's send it out to you.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. There's nothing better than being in a spot where you can say, hey, let me date myself with this next piece we're about to do. But that's exactly what I'm going to do. But before I do that, I just want to tease. We're going to be talking Country Digital Acceleration, CDA, 10 years in Italy. There's going to be some interesting conversations. At least I know I'm talking to Fabio. I think we're talking to some other really smart people about that, but hang in for that one. So I'm here at 40 years of innovation, as you can see here, something I prefer to call, watch your step, good job. 30 years of struggle is really more my linkage to this terminology. But if you look at this section, and it's not all in complete order, but when you talk about Cisco getting started, and I think 1984 is what they're asking everybody to look back at and say, what were you doing in 1984? I was a junior in high school, no idea what Cisco was doing, really didn't even know much about computers. I think I did have one, and it had a modem, and that was about it. And I just used it to type papers and print on my dot matrix printer. But I was studying these things because I had a chance. Someone had said, hey, you should go get a job at Cisco. And I go, I don't really know what they do. But I had time at that point to figure it out. So I studied. It was all the data sheets of the devices that you see here because all this stuff came out before 2000. 2000 is when I started for Cisco in sales. And so when I got to Cisco, we were talking about IP telephony and a lot of our time was just spent educating customers on the difference between IP telephony and voice over IP. And at the time, I think you can still kind of use some things interchangeably, but it was all about cutting your long distance bills back in that day. If you can remember, those of us old enough to remember that was an issue. And I came from hotel management before this career, and we loved long distance bills because that's how we made a lot of our extra money. As you probably knew, we'd jack up those rates based on the CDR stream that came out of the back of the PBX before we got rid of PBXs. See, I can make everything full circle. All right, so we had some wireless here. So we talk a lot about this week about how cool is it that until Cisco came along, we didn't even have networking as an industry. Well, you know what else we didn't have? We got up to 1999 and we bought Aeronet. We didn't have Wi-Fi. It wasn't called Wi-Fi then. We, of course, used the 802.11, which is the Wi-Fi. We use versions of 802.11 as those began released. We now know as, of course, this week we're talking about 6E, and of course 7. But we had to start somewhere, and these are some good examples of that. I think there's something else on the wall here. What is this? I should have prepared a little bit better. Okay, so this is just an integrated services router, the ISR. Biggest problem with selling these when I got them was that we would sell some amazing software-based innovation in these boxes, but then forget to remind the customer how much they could do with it, and that left us ripe for competitors to come in with extra devices. And so there was a, how do you sell that integrated approach that becomes easily delivered, but yet still make a difference in the market? It was a fun problem to try and solve. Let's walk around this way. So as we come here, so we've got, what are we talking about? Oh, these are just ruggedized IoT. I'm going to stay away from that for the moment, because come around here, and we've got, this was the first, I think it was the first, yeah, the B200 blade server. So when we came out with UCS, that was a big deal. By this point, I was already at TechWise TV trying to figure out what I was doing, scared to heck of data center, and all of a sudden, not only was I not really sure about data center, God forbid storage, but when it came to these technologies, like, well, Cisco's doing something completely different than what the server vendors are doing. We're just going to go get all up in their business and change how it's done with the way we access memory and everything else. It was such exciting times with UCS. Still is. UCS is still making some great inroads and doing things differently. But as you come through here, we begin getting into Meraki. We're fully embracing cloud. All of that now, I'm fully inside Cisco, pretending full time that I know what I'm talking about at any given moment. And that's what we were doing with Meraki. I think the only thing we have left here is we start coming here. Of course, Silicon One is a huge focus this week. They never get this kind of freedom and this much air to breathe. Heat would never be a problem if you could have this much space around them, but this makes for a nice display. It's just, how do you show the incredible years of sweat and toil that goes into something that comes out so small and that we never see, but we definitely depend on and have to interact with. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk country digital acceleration and what's been happening in Italy and how that's affected things there. Exciting conversation, because I actually remember talking to these guys If not last year, it was the year before. Either way, lots of big changes to talk about. Such exciting times. With that, we'll go back over to the studio. Steve?
Thank you, Robin. I'm actually going to keep you here with me a little bit because you're right. We're about to head into our center stage conversation on CDA. I wanted to ask, when you're out in the area, as you're touring around, as you're taking a look, you just mentioned the amount of effort that goes into Silicon One. How often do you get a chance to talk with the engineers that build things out and ask them the questions of why that? How did we get to this particular point? Or what gave you the impetus to drive forward on that particular capability as opposed to a competing capability? Do you get to have those conversations with people?
Yes, probably not as much here. I tend to find that the engineering talent we have here is, of course, focused on that public side of how are we marketing these technologies. And I love those guys because they bridge that knowledge gap that I really love, helping me understand, okay, how do we take this from engineering superpower into something digestible, approachable, and usable for customers? And so a lot of times the engineers you're talking about there, but we have quite a few distinguished engineers that I'd worked with. I did a Silicon One breakdown. And the hard part about saying all that is that I studied it really hard and promptly forgot a lot of those details. But let me just say, in general, I was fascinated. It was really interesting stuff. And a lot of it, though, had to do with me learning more about the fact that we're a fabless semiconductor company, which means we don't actually do the extremely hard work, as we're learning now with geopolitics and worldwide changes. You know, where do you make these things? Well, there's only a few places that even have the technology and the capability to do this. But we put our focus from the Cisco perspective into the smarts. How do we design the layout on these chips? How do we do absolutely everything right up to the point of actually physically manufacturing them? Somewhere in that, and I forget what the terminology is called, but that's where we hand it off. And so I am fascinated by those people, but it gets so deep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from sometimes.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Rob, as always. Truly appreciate it. We are going to head into our first Center Stage session of the day right now. First of many great Center Stage sessions in about 15 minutes. We want you here for all of them. We are going to join Guy Dietrich, Senior VP and Global Innovation Officer, looking back at a decade of the CDA program. Let's head out and join Guy Dietrich in Center Stage right now.